today. She was already in
As long as
the
we have
room.
everybody here for testimony. Chairman, we're on the air.
TCMJ. She's into the whole discipline.
Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Long Hill Township Planning Board for November 25th, 2025. Thank you again for your patience as we assemble on a wet, dark evening. We're going to get right underway here after we get through some of our announcements. So, Madam Secretary, if you would do the honor.
Happy to, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Number one, call to order and statement of compliance. Adequate notice of this meeting hearing has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting hearing dates on the municipal bulletin board and website, by sending a copy to the Echo Sentinel newspaper, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. Number two, standard board procedures. Any meeting or hearing conducted by the board is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial meeting or hearing must be maintained at all times. Number three, meeting cutoff. Announcement is made that as a matter of procedure, it is the intention of the planning board not to continue any matter past 10:30 p.m. at any regular or special meeting or hearing of the board unless a motion is passed by the members then present to extend the meeting or hearing to a later specified cutoff time. Number four, electronic devices. All in attendance are asked to mute cell phones or any electronic devices as to not interrupt the proceedings. Number five, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call. Excuse me. Ms. Dill is absent this evening. Mr. Hands.
Here.
Committeeman Lavender.
Present.
Mr. Lavarerio.
Here.
Ms. Ogens. Here. Mr. Opalka.
Here.
Vice Chairman Jones.
Present.
Chairman Richardson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Well, again, good evening, everyone. So we have a singular agenda item, and that is an application. I'll just read it briefly. It's a minor subdivision with variances. This is a carry, and we'll describe some of the carrying that occurred with this application. This is for block 10202, lot 12 in the R2 zone at 53 Indian Run and Heritage Road. This is application number 25-19P. And with that, I think we'll turn it over to the applicant. Mr. Zelli, welcome.
Thank you. Actually, Mr. Chairman, before we throw it over to the applicant, the board attorney may make a few statements just to get us started here. So I just want to point out for the record that the applicant did provide adequate notice of this hearing. They initially noticed for the board's September 9, 2025 meeting. Everything was properly served. Everything was served timely. All the content was good. So the board had the jurisdiction to hear and decide the case at that point in time. However, we weren't able to proceed that evening, so we carried it to the board's October 14th, 2025 meeting by voice announcement, no further notice being required. And then we didn't finish up on October 14th, so then we carried it again to this evening. So the long and short of it is the board still has the jurisdiction to hear and decide the case, in my humble legal opinion. With that, I'll let Mr. Zelli do his introduction, and then we got to swear in our fill-in board engineer at some point.
Yes.
And yeah, so Mr. Zelli, if you want to take it away, and we'll get started.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chair, board members, board professionals, members of the public. Thank you for joining us this evening. Frederick Zelli, Post Pollock, on behalf of the applicant. I do want to let you know I have 8 sets of revised plans and revised color images. What I was thinking, since they're large in particular, maybe if I handed 6 up there and put 2 out with the public to have something to look at, would that be acceptable?
Thank you. And I do want to mention, since we do have quite a few people in the audience, please feel free to come up to look at some of the exhibits. In fact, it might make sense to put that easel on that side, just so it's a little easier for you to come up and look at the exhibits as they speak to them. But do feel free to come up, get out of your seat, stretch your legs. Thank you.
You may have to move it further back. Yeah, it's just so people.
Yeah, if you pull, yep, that's fine.
And the ones that they're getting are the same ones as those, so.
I'm gonna re-swear. Yeah. Just wanna let him get started. It's okay. No worries.
I don't think we need so many.
Mr. Zelli, this is the same set of plans that you submitted earlier today by email to Ms. Kuntz and myself?
I believe yesterday, but yes, the recent
Yesterday,
ones
my
were submitted
apologies.
today.
Yeah,
No
so
worries.
we'll mark that the entire plan set as Exhibit A7, I believe, or, oh no, I think we're up to 6?
6, I believe.
Yeah, let me just double check my notes.
So 10 sheets.
Yeah, 6, okay. All right, so Exhibit A6 will be the revised plan set. And that's 10 sheets, and the revised date on that is October 5th of 2025?
For how long? We'll see how the battery goes for the next set.
So Deb, does that mic work there that you put on
Yes.
the table? Okay.
Revision 10, actually 11.7, just below the 10.5.
I apologize, what are we marking exhibit numbers of these? A6, thank you.
No, but he said it's a, no, do you see November date on there?
Does
No.
the Lord, let me take a look at the Lord version.
Yeah, we don't have a November.
Yeah, the one you sent me doesn't have November either.
Just 10-5.
It's all 10-5.
The revision's in the box above the revision box.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, it's not in the revision chart.
Oh, it
it's
says
above.
1107.
My apologies.
There
Okay.
it is.
All right, well, that was,
Oh, here it is. Okay, it's just below the applicant's name.
So the plans are marked A6.
It's not
Correct.
the
Yep.
revision set.
the revision date of 11/7/2025.
That'll be there.
Yeah, and Mr. Zelli, I believe you guys also sent us a couple revised renderings as well. Do you want to mark
Yes,
those
and
now?
the board and the public have those as well. There's 2 pages. Mark that as A7.
Okay, A7 for a compendium of both of the revised renderings. And can we give that today's date, November 25th?
Yes, that's fine. And we'll bring this out in testimony, but just for as a reference at this point, the first photo is the corner lot, the second photo is the interior lot.
Understood. Okay. Okay, and so I think you have your architect up, correct?
Correct. Did you want me to do any kind of a summary of?
Yeah, I think
What's
she was
about-
sworn at the last one, but let's swear in again, and then,
I think you were.
I don't think so either.
you weren't. Okay, so let's, good thing, this is why we double check. So if you could raise your right hand, as well as, sir, what's your name? Robert Berenger, okay, let me just write your name down too. P.E. Okay, do both of you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Great, thank you so much. And your name? for the
Jennifer
record?
Palermo?
Jennifer. Okay, and Mr. Zelli will go through your credentials so the board can determine whether or not to accept you.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, did you want to go right in testimony? Did you want me to get any kind of summary? Entirely up to the board.
Did you want to go through your architect's credentials so that we can?
Certainly do that, of course. No, of
Yeah.
course. I just meant in general, before we start her at all.
That's fine, whatever you, however you want to do it.
Okay. So just as a general refresher, we are seeking to subdivide one large lot into 2. This is a unique application because we are in what used to be, or was originally a cluster application back in the 70s. So we have a unique situation where neither our lot and certainly none of the other lots in the neighborhood comply with current zoning. The lots that we're proposing are all, virtually all, significantly larger than the existing neighborhood lots. Nonetheless, we need variances because, again, none of the neighborhood comes close to complying with the current zoning. If we were not in that situation, most likely we could have an as-of-right subdivision in this case because we're dealing with smaller lots, or larger lots, I should say. And just to go over the variances really quickly before we get into testimony, we're dealing with lot area for both lots for the reason I just described, lot width for lot 1202, front yard setback for both lots, and actually two because of the one lot being a corner lot, building height for only one of the lot, but a C variance, not D variance, it's within 10%, and then distance from the building to the critical area, which is steep slopes on the corner lot. That's an improved condition, however, because currently the building is actually in the steep slopes. We are at least not touching them, but we do not have the distance required. We have 8.6 feet where 25 feet would be required. But again, we're going from 0 to 8.6, so we're still improving the situation in that regard. Mr. Hollows testified extensively and completely at the last hearing. Many members of the public did comment and ask questions regarding drainage. I should say ask questions. We didn't get to comments yet. Mr. Hollows made it clear that for drainage purposes, because of the stormwater mitigation that's planned and designed for these properties, the drainage overall and any ramifications thereof is going to be diminished as opposed to made worse by this application. So having said that, Ms. Palerno, we're going to let you start here. Would you please give the benefit of your professional and educational background?
Certainly. I have a master's degree in architecture from New Jersey Institute of Technology. I've been licensed in the state of New Jersey since 2002. Can't believe it's been that long. And I have appeared before many, many, many boards. This is actually my second time. Oh, no, I was at the planning board last time
Would have adjustment last time.
for another, that's right, for another application.
And the plans for the present application were prepared by or at your direction, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you're prepared to take us through all of these plans, both of these plans this evening?
Yes.
Why don't we begin briefly? Are you familiar with the current building on the property? Mr. Hollows touched on it briefly, so.
Just,
Just
Actually-
for the record, I'd like to just make sure the
gonna say.
board acknowledges and approves your expert in this matter. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay,
Nope, only comment I have is your license still in
Oh,
good
yes.
standing?
yes.
Thank you very much.
great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, proceed.
As I said, Mr. Hollows did touch on it. If you're not familiar with the current property building, then we'll just go on to the new ones.
We'll just go on to the new ones.
Okay. Then let's start with, first of all, just for the record, what's been marked as Exhibit A6 is the last revised set of plans dated, revision date of November 7. Those are the ones you'll be working off this evening, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And for the board's edification, the primary reason, if not the sole reason for revisions was to change the exterior front facades in order to avoid needing a variance for having two identical buildings. Is that accurate? Okay. So in terms of floor plans and so forth, they're basically the same plans? Okay. Let's start with the corner lot, please, which is the first 5 sheets of the A6.
So, our sheet A100 is the basement plan. It's basically going to be a unfinished basement.
Is that mic working?
It was, all right, maybe new batteries already. We know,
hold
we
on.
know,
No.
we're doing this, microphone issues.
Wasn't sure if it was because I took it out. Oh, this is,
Yep.
hello, hello. Oh, that's
There we
good. Okay. Here, let me just move the plans a little closer. Okay. So our A100 sheet is showing our proposed basement. It will be unfinished. It will also house,
Leave this over here just in case.
hello, okay. Oh. Okay. So basically an unfinished basement, and we have a mechanical room. So on our ground floor, we have typical open living. We have a kitchen, living room, family room, dining room, and a guest office room and a 2-car garage. The second floor, we have 4 bedrooms. We have a master and 3 other bedrooms. Not everyone has their own ensuite, but 2 bedrooms share a bathroom.
Laundry on that floor as well?
Yes. We have laundry right here on the second floor. And we have the double height space for the entryway.
So, 2-story foyer.
Correct.
Okay.
So on our first elevation, which is our corner lot, we have a pitched roof from front to back, gables on the ends, and we have a gable over the front entry door. It's 2-story. Our floor to floor, or our floor ceiling heights are 10 feet for each floor. And on the corner lot, our proposed height is 35'10".
So we are calling for a variance for that because it's higher than 35.
Correct.
What was that number again?
35'10".
Thank you.
Where 35 is required. We have our side elevations. We're showing hardy plank with cultured stone at the base and around the surround of the front. You can see in our colored renderings, the first one is the rendering of the corner lot property.
All right, so that's the first rendering on Exhibit A7.
Correct.
Now let me take you back to the front elevations in the plans, just so that everybody doesn't think their eyes are playing tricks on them, that we have somewhat different materials if you look at the colorized versus the plans themselves. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would you just identify those differences, please?
So the rendering shows trim around the windows at the front entryway, and it shows stone around these bay windows. I believe that the rendering is going to be what the elevation is proposed.
So when there's a conflict, we should rely on the color rendering?
Correct.
Okay. Just for the record, none of those material differences have any impact as far as variances or anything like that, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Focusing on the first sheet, if you would, going back to the basement sheet. Shows window well. Can you comment on that a bit? It seems a bit larger than what we might be used to for window wells.
I guess the purpose is so that in the future, should they choose to finish the basement, they will have enough light coming in to the basement so it doesn't feel like a basement.
Okay, thank you.
Is it really designed for light or designed for egress?
A design for light. This one here could be egress if necessary, but we have a stair that goes directly into the basement from the outside.
Thank you.
Board have any other questions for this particular house before we move to the second one?
Can you tell me the height of the ceiling in the basement?
Sure. We have a 7-foot-high basement.
It's 7 foot high?
And just a statement for consideration, what can you do to get below the 35 feet? Something to think about? We can either answer it now, or you can table it. 'Cause you're seeking a variance,
Yes.
Of 10 inches.
correct?
So, yeah, why don't you just go through this in more detail?
Just let me comment briefly, though, just a reminder of Mr. Hollow's testimony. Bear in mind that this is the corner lot, this is the one that has the slope.
Okay,
So
but
that's
still
really
go through it, 'cause
primary
there's
cause of
reasons
that, right?
yeah. We'll explain in detail why 35 10 inches.
So you can see here on our sheet A103 that the site slopes off towards the other street. And we're taking our height from this point over here all the way on the right-hand side.
That's the lowest exposed.
Correct.
Thank you.
What's the total square foot of living space?
The total square foot is 4,200 square feet.
I guess another question I have is, did you look at any of the other structures in the area? And how do the other structures compare in regards to square footage? Height?
So I didn't measure the heights at all, but one of our original designs had a lot of hips and valleys on our roof, and we took a good look at the neighborhood, and really the context of that neighborhood has pretty much gable ends and a roof that goes from front to back, and it's fairly low sloped. So we revisited that and made it much more simple. Most of them also have a one-story attached garage next to it. So we're trying to use the same topology as what is there.
I'm sorry, detached or attached?
Attached. Did I say detached? I meant
Yeah.
attached.
No,
Oh.
I may have misheard you, so.
Yes, they're all one-story attached garages, and so we made sure to keep that and change our roof lines with just simple dormers or intersections at those roofs.
And Ms. Palermo, the very original house plans that were submitted were considerably larger than what we're proposing.
That
now.
is correct.
As I recall, substantially more than 5,000 square feet, were they not?
Yes, they were.
Thank you.
Can we just go back on the height for a second? do you
Sure.
mind? Right, I'm just reading from your original, Liz, from your original document. So you talked about both houses at the time were higher, I think, 38 and 35.8. Now, just the first one is 3510.
Yes.
Second one is,
It's compliant.
it's compliant, right?
The second one, we actually show it also as 35'10".
So both are potentially,
No, you shouldn't from lowest point.
I know. Hold on one second.
well,
And just for the record, as Mr. Hollows testified last time, even if we, for some reason with the slope, were above 35, the slope will be changed in order to make it 35. We will not be seeking a variance for the interior lot for height.
okay, so that's that's a discrepancy on the interior, on the one in Indian Run. So the corner lot is one in question for the
Correct.
height?
That's correct.
3510, so could you explain in detail why you need to go to 3510?
We can lose 10 inches. Between the grading, we will modify the grading so that we don't have that extra 10 inches.
For both lots now?
Bill? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure. On the corner, first of all, Mr. Hollows, you're still under oath and your license is still in good standing this evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we adjust topography on the corner lot to avoid the variance or not? You would be the one
Not unless
adjusting
I
it.
built a wall.
Okay.
But the interior lot, I can adjust the grades to do that, and I believe I testified to
You
that
you
last
did,
time.
and I just wanted to,
Yeah, our
Reiterate that.
plans are showing that it's 35'10" on both lots.
Do you believe that to be the case currently, or is that's why
I
you
think that may be
testified to
the architectural plans, but I can adjust the grade. In fact, I did it, redlined it on my drawings, just, things that we talked about last meeting, I put it on my drawings for hopefully future revisions if the board were to approve this.
But again, that's for the interior lot only.
That's the interior
Okay.
lot.
And I'll remind the board also, the original plans, we were, as a matter of fact, Ms. Lehaney pointed out that we might be in front of the wrong board because we were actually more than 10% over on the original plan. So we've brought that down drastically to the point that we're only 10 inches over at this point, and only for the one lot.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ehlers.
I'm sorry, he did mention that would have to build a wall.
No.
So
You
how
want to
we-
explain
If-
that a little further? Or is that,
Only the corner lot.
that's right.
The interior lot, no.
So the corner lot, you would have to build a wall? Can you explain that a little bit to me?
Well, just to raise the grade up a little bit, because it slopes off.
Right.
It's
So
pretty good
you'd
slope
pick
at
up
that
10
point.
inches. So that would pick up the 10 inches, and the wall would be like a retaining wall to hold the material back?
Yes.
How far off the house would you build that wall?
I'm sorry,
Yes,
I hadn't gone and designed that.
8
like,
feet, 10 feet, guesstimate. I'm not going to hold you to it.
Probably between 8 and 10 feet.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, that's a trade-off.
I'm sorry.
Is that a trade-off for the corner lots? Height, 35, 10, or?
I'd just like to, I guess, go back in some of my testimony. It's
Yeah.
only one corner. It's just the one corner. The other three corners would be
Has to stay quiet.
35 or less.
Hold on one second.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry, out in the public, we're picking you up on the mics, so please, if you have to have a conversation, you can step out in the hallway. That would be helpful to us, thank you. Yeah, hold
Can I
on.
ask questions, Jeff?
Yep.
what you're saying, but we're having problems understanding and hearing what's being told to us.
Okay,
So you're not able to hear the mic?
ready?
Very well, it's fading in and out.
Hmm.
And when you're given directions, when she was given directions just a few minutes ago, I couldn't hear where that was or anything. She didn't show us where it's coming from, what the expectation is, and we're just sitting here trying to figure out what's being done.
Why don't-
And the nice is to say, this is-
Sir,
this is
why don't you come over closer so you can see her pointing out
You can
things?
stand right
can
there along
stand
that
right with
wall
her.
to hear better.
Well, what about my wife here?
You can both stand there.
Both, you can all
Just sit in
stand.
front.
You can all stand there if you want.
Jen,
That-
why don't
really.
you also move the easel back and
Yeah,
that back if you-
turn it slightly?
You're on the microphone just fine.
And then
If
tilt
you are
it,
having trouble hearing, I suggest you
Now
step
that I have
over
this
to
mic,
the
I
other
can-
side.
turn it this way a
Please,
bit,
we're-
turn it this way a
we
bit
really
too,
are
so
trying
they
to
can see from
enable
over here.
everybody to see and hear.
That's better, I think.
Thank you.
Just stand right here.
What should be over here?
Please.
If you need to be that close, yes.
As long as that microphone's still green, we're good. Yep.
I think we can all hear up here just fine.
These people can't see what you're saying.
Understand.
No, they can come up if they need to.
They've been
Are
invited
the
to come
plans
up and
over-
look at
are the
demos.
plans not on the desk over there?
The
Yeah.
plans
Right,
are,
just everybody
There's-
can,
Right, there's a set in the audience, there's a set over here, people are welcome to come up here, and there will be questions
And there's two
allowed
sets out
at-
in the audience.
when the architect is done with her testimony.
And for the record, we do have 2 sets of plans among the audience members, as well as 2 sets of Exhibit A7.
Thank you.
If I could get us back on track here.
That's
So I just want to be totally clear on what's being requested here. You guys do you still want to seek the variance for 12.01 on the height of the house?
At this point, we are still seeking a variance for 10 inches over on the corner lot only.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Hollows is now addressing what it would take to not need that variance, and the trade-off would be we'd have to do a retaining wall, which is something else that we typically try to avoid. So it's a trade-off, as Mr. Hand suggested.
Thank you.
Thank you.
and not to play devil's advocate, but any reason why you can't bring the height down to 35?
we could take some height off of the second floor. Our ceiling height up there is 10 feet.
That sounds pretty high,
Yes.
7-foot ceiling.
Yeah,
Can I make that suggestion?
Sure.
Thank you.
So you would take it down to 10, to 9?
Go 9.
9'4". I mean 9'2",
Make it exactly.
but yes.
Safer to make it to 9?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's a lot 1, second floor, from 10 feet to 9 feet. Thank you.
See that as soon
So
as-
are there any other questions just from the board real quick on the corner lot so we can move to the interior lot? Right, is that where you're going next?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now,
Okay, thanks. Please proceed.
I'm not going anywhere. So basically, I don't know that I need to go through the plans because they're the same. So I'll go straight to the elevations. And so the second house here in the interior, we have the same pitched roof from the front to back. We've just added 2 more peaks to break up the roof line and changed our materials to stone on the double height entry. And then we have stucco, I believe.
So if we are saying that the color images are going to be the accurate ones, we need you to look at the second page of A7 and describe materials based upon that.
Correct. Did they actually match our elevations,
Okay.
the interior lot?
I'm not seeing stone around, yes, I am.
I'm sorry.
You're looking at the rear, Fred.
It's brick.
Yeah, it was.
And it's hatched as stone, and that was just a mistake.
Okay. And we also, and you've already addressed this, we also have peaks showing as,
I'm sorry?
we're showing peaks above the windows. You addressed that already?
Correct.
The elevation, the color image does not show that, correct?
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Those are not the ones that we.
That's not the one we were given.
Oh, God. That's not good.
Here.
What's happening?
All right, Exhibit A8.
That's all right.
Which is which?
This one correct? Yes. This, sorry. See?
just for the record on this house, I am not a fan of that front entranceway.
Okay.
That's just my own 2 cents.
This is actually 2 peaks.
So this is the one. This is what we show in our drawing, and with the 2 peaks.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
bad.
All right, then, yes, A8, and
Yeah. That's
for
a
the record
revised-
then, Ms. Palermo, just so we're clear, the second page of A7 is not what we're proposing. What is now going to be A8 is what we're proposing.
Correct. And we're happy to revisit the entry.
Yeah, that's wrong. That one in your right hand is wrong.
Can the public get the good one?
Well, we haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Okay, you guys can have it first. Thank you.
everything will be
Pass
public
it among the
record.
board, and then we'll pass it around. Yeah, just for the record, the difference, Ms. Palermo, why don't you take them through what the difference is?
Sure. The difference is if you look at the drawings, it shows 2 peaks over the 2 bay windows on either side of the entryway. Where here, they were not shown on our rendering, but they are now shown on the rendering that you have.
And by here, you mean page 2 of Exhibit A7.
Page,
Nine.
A8,
No, it is, yeah.
the new one.
No.
Page 2 of
She said-
A7, yes, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
versus
A9.
She's
9
saying-
of A6.
The first one that we got was inaccurate. What is now Exhibit A8 is the accurate depiction of what that house should look like.
correct, and it matches the drawing.
Okay.
Can we see that down here?
You just pass it down.
I don't think anybody has.
You've got it? Just over it.
I'm sorry?
Did we say we have an A9 already? What's
No.
A9?
Oh,
There's no
they
way
don't
not.
have it yet?
Okay, thank you.
That was my bad.
What Mr. Zelli's about to pass out is Exhibit A8.
So
Okay.
this is A8, and for the record, this is going to replace the second page of A7.
That's a colorized rendering of the proposed dwelling on proposed lot 12.02, dated November 25th, 2025. Mr. Zelli?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Very good.
So am I to assume the plans are accurate?
Correct.
It's the rendering with the photo that's not? or
Correct.
Okay.
With this particular house. With the other house, it's the other way around.
The other house was different as to materials, but not design.
Ay.
Right.
I'll get you marked there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There you go. See, it's got
I just got these.
the peaks, not the peaks up here.
So which of the two front entryways are more
I like that.
in line with the rest of the neighborhood?
So most of the neighborhood has our typical colonials, and they don't actually really have a front porch. But in this day and age, we felt that keeping the mass of the building similar with the neighborhood, we could be more in line with what customers want.
Thank you. Ms. Palermo, let's focus on A8, which is the interior lot. The board has expressed some concerns with the front entryway, and I'm guessing that's largely because it's protruding out so far.
Yes,
It's just massive.
yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I
Yeah.
don't know if this works.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could reduce, when you look at some of the other homes in the neighborhood, they do have front porticos, but they're just one story. And so that may be
Yeah.
more appropriate.
Well, mine has 2 stories.
What,
My house has 2.
do
But
you live within 200 feet?
no, I do not. No, I do not.
If not, you need to recuse yourself.
That's right.
immediately.
Yeah. But it's-
Yes, we can absolutely revisit that.
That'd be good.
In fact, I think you hit the nail on the head when you look at the corner lot. We've got the lower roof that sort of helps
Perfect.
take that height
Breaks
down.
it up,
Yep,
right.
Correct.
absolutely.
So we can redesign the entryway to the corner lot without ending up being identical to the lower
Correct.
lot? Or,
Correct.
The interior, so it doesn't end up being identical to the corner.
Correct. I would still put the peaks over the bay windows, but make the entry portico look more like the corner lot.
Okay.
Better.
Then, Mr. Chair, we would stipulate to having to redesign the front entryway to the satisfaction of whomever your designee might be, perhaps Ms. Lehaney.
Okay.
Liz,
Yeah.
you want to take that responsibility? Sure. Yeah. You can't pawn it off on him tonight, huh?
All right.
Perfect example.
I'm happy
Ah,
to
you-
sign off on it.
I think Rob's up to the task. You can throw it on. No, he's all right. We're not gonna.
Sure, please.
I'm sorry to take a few steps back, but I'm having a hard time understanding the height. Because when I look at the original architecturals, they also say 3510, but the engineering plans, the site plan said 38. And that makes sense to me because it's from the lowest, portion of the ground to the highest roof. So I'm having a hard time understanding how it went from 38 to 3510 to now conforming. Do you know?
So the plans you have on your screen there are the old plans,
Yes.
right? So if you look at the pitch of the roof there, it's much steeper.
But these say 3510.
Oh,
Right.
Mr. Hollow, since you're approaching the mic, I'm guessing you might have the answer?
I hope so.
Well, I'll try. The interior lot, I think, I know I testified to the fact that I could adjust the grades, the site grading to accommodate the height of the building and bring it in conformance. The corner lot, I didn't testify to that. I did testify that it was 38 feet from highest to lowest at the southeasterly corner of that building, which is the lowest ground there. I just doing some quick grading while I was sitting there listening to this. I can probably I don't know if I can get it into conformance, but I can probably get it to 3510. To get in conformance, again, I would most likely have to build a little bit of a retaining wall. It could be a landscape feature. It's not going to be really tall, not more than 2 feet.
All right.
I guess I'm confused because I heard a concession on ceiling height.
Right, on the
Yeah.
second floor.
Right.
Yeah, well,
So that's totally independent.
Totally independent
totally
of that.
independent to what I
Okay.
just,
Correct.
okay. So if they can bring that down and I can do a little grading, I think we can get it to 35.
So the current,
But-
prior to that concession, we were showing the corner lot at 3510. That's what Ms. Palermo just testified to.
No, 38.
Well,
Well,
I think
no,
from
she
a,
said
from a
35.
site plan perspective, sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, from a site plan perspective, it was meaning how he did it according to our ordinance, Mr. Hollows did it, measured it according to our ordinance was 38. But if you looked at the elevation, it was, I guess, measured as 3510. So on both plans, the old ones and the new ones, it says 3510, architectural plans. But the site plan that was done at the time of these architectural plans, the old architectural plan said 38. So that's where I'm assuming that 38 was correct because that was based on the grading.
Right, but the roof lines were taken down since then.
Well, both plans say 3510, both the old and new.
Okay. So, Ms. Palermo, were they roof lines taken down as you just testified to? I thought they were.
I thought they were too.
All right. Is it possible that that's just a typo in the number?
Could be.
All right.
Regardless, you're going to have to build it to 35 feet.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
We-
So-
That's
So,
it.
So now you're in.
so we are not seeking a variance for height for either building, and however we achieve that, it'll be achieved.
I wanted to make sure that Mr. Hollows could confirm that it could be done.
Right.
Yeah.
At 35, okay.
That it's feasible.
Right.
Yeah, I think if you look at right here at this elevation, you can see that the pitch has been lowered. So,
Okay. Any other questions from the professionals
Ms.
at this point? Yeah, please, Mr. Zelli.
No, I just wanted to clarify, just for the record, primarily for the public's benefit, the two interior layouts are virtually identical.
yes.
What we are seeking to do by the ordinance of the town is to have different street appearances. And
Correct.
we've accomplished that. The interior home, just to refresh, will be redesigned as far as the entranceway to not be as protruding and to be more in line with what's designed for the corner lot, although not identical to that.
Correct.
All right. I have nothing further for Ms. Palermo at this time.
Just to make 150% sure before the public gets up and asks questions, Mr. Zelli, you are no longer seeking the height variance for either house.
Correct.
Okay, so both houses will be of a compliant height.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to make it clear for everybody.
But to do that will require the retaining wall on the corner lot.
No.
No.
No,
No retaining wall can be graded.
there's an adjustment to a ceiling height on the second floor. it sounds
Correct.
like, is what has been at least proposed to conform, to create a conforming structure.
Yeah, I got that for the 35.1 to lower the ceiling to get it down to 9.2 on the second floor.
Right.
And that'll get us to 35 feet.
Correct.
Bring it from 10 feet to 9 foot 2.
Right.
Correct. That's correct.
I believe Mr. Hollis also said there might be some minor grading associated with that, but no retaining.
No retaining wall.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Good, all right. I think do we have any other questions from the board? Because I would like to, do you have any more testimony on the architectural?
I have no more testimony before the public begins to ask questions of the architect.
Okay.
Mr. Hollows addressed drainage extremely in detail, comprehensively. Ms. Palermo is not qualified to address those questions. If we could try to get in front of that, I would appreciate that.
Yes.
Do you have any more witnesses, Mr. Zelli?
I do not.
Okay, just trying to get a lay of the land for going forward. Okay. So open to public, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, I first would like to, I think we
Oh,
should
yeah.
acknowledge, and if you could just ask if anybody is represented by
Oh, right,
legal
absolutely.
counsel.
Is anybody here represented by an attorney? Are there any attorneys in the audience? I probably should ask that when we started. No?
Okay.
Seeing none? Okay, very good.
Great.
All right, so folks, same as last time when the engineer testified, please come up and ask your questions of the architect based on the testimony she provided. The engineer, did testify already, so please don't ask any repeat questions. You already asked him. This is not her area of expertise with as far as drainage and other engineering things go. So if you have a question, please come up. We need your name and address. Just approach the podium and ask questions of the witness. Questions, please. And I will also point out there's going to be an opportunity to make comments, statements.
Yep,
So everything that exits your mouth should have a question mark at the end of it.
Understood.
Okay.
Major point.
And we would appreciate, since we do have quite a few people, I don't know how many people want to ask questions, that we limit it to 3 to 5 minutes at max in regards to questioning. Thank you.
All right, so
Brian Daglian, 679 Heritage Road, across the street. I
I have three questions. First is, so in the variance, I know we're not going for a variance anymore, but in the beginning, what's a standard residential ceiling height is around 8 or 9 feet, right?
Nowadays, it's 9 or 10.
Okay, but in keeping with the neighborhood, it would be
Correct.
more like 8 or 9 feet. So to ask for the variance when you're already kind of 2 feet over, is there a reason for the need for the higher height of the ceilings? Or is that just an aesthetic?
It's a personal
Preference.
preference.
Okay. Number two is, I guess, the number of bathrooms in the house. So there's 3 full bathrooms and 2 half bathrooms in the house,
Correct.
and according to the plans.
Yes. Mhm. There's not one in the basement. 1 half, and that's a half. So that's another, and then there's 3 upstairs. So it's 4 full, 1 half, right? And then 3.
This is a full bath?
Yep,
Okay.
that's full bath.
So I guess in a single-family home, why would you need typically 4 full baths and an exit from the basement to the exterior?
So the homeowner has children and wants their children to come into the house through the basement.
Okay.
As far as bathrooms are concerned, that's not unusual for a 4-bedroom house nowadays.
Every 4-bedroom house in the neighborhood that I've ever been in has 2 full baths and maybe 1 or 2 half baths. Sir, questions?
Just questions, please. Those are comments.
Sure,
Right.
understood.
You can make comments later.
Okay, yep, I got you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, and then my last question is, so you said the houses are 4,200 square feet?
Correct.
Do you know the average square footage of the other houses in the neighborhood?
I do not.
Okay, is that something that we would have access to? 2,400? So 24, so I know that you said something about the mass of the house. Would that be like, so keeping the house the same mass as the others in the neighborhood, would that be, when you say mass, does that mean something different than the square footage?
No, what I was mostly referring to the roof line and
Okay.
and sort of the massing of so the overall shape of the building, while it may be larger than its neighbors, it's still relates to the neighbors.
So the footprint of the,
Please hold the mic, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. We lost the last, could you just repeat?
I'm
what
Italian,
you
I
said?
use my hands,
understand.
it's a problem.
I'm talking with my hands too. Could you just repeat that last response from the question?
Certainly. So, in terms of the mass, it's the shape of the building is similar to the ones in the neighborhood. While it might be larger, it's still, in terms of the topology of the shape of the building and the roof line.
got it. So like, so a square is a square, this one's just a much bigger square, is that kind of the
Yes.
idea? Okay. All right, that's it, thank you.
Sorry, I just want to, this might help. The ordinance, our ordinance regulates floor area ratio, which is how much square footage based on the lot size. And so for the proposed interior lot, they could go in excess of 5,400 square feet.
My question wasn't about what they could, it's just in comparison to the rest of the neighborhood, so.
Okay, all right.
Got it.
Anyone else
Any other questions? Please, come up. Thank you.
I'm Bill Murphy from 687 Heritage Road. And I want to get back to the same question about square footage. So the square footage is 4,200 square feet. And 80% of the houses in the development are 2,400 square feet.
Sir,
With a few being up to like 32, I think, but that's about the range. 24 being the most common. You had asked the
Question?
Sir,
the question, my question is, one that you raised and that wasn't answered, which is, and I know that there were great pains, I could see in other areas where you said you want to keep all the houses to be, considerate of the rest of the neighborhood, 50 feet off the front, and various things to just make these things blend in. But I didn't hear any answer to the question of, did you at all consider the size of these two houses relative to the entire neighborhood? Was there any consideration given to that? That's the question.
I mean, in terms of overall size and what we were allowed to do, we made it less than what we could have done.
Okay.
So that's to the extent that we,
So in other words, there wasn't any attempt to make them blend in with the rest of the neighborhood. It was just go to the maximum allowed.
well, we didn't go to the maximum
Well,
allowed.
okay. You went a long way from all the rest of the neighborhood to make this a bigger house, including the 10-foot
So,
ceiling.
you know, there's costs that come into play with this, right? So we're building a new house. Cost of construction has gone up. What is the demand? Who is going to buy it? And so, you know, things have changed over the years. And
I'll tell you who would buy it. Houses in our neighborhood stick around for about 2 weeks and they're sold.
Sir.
That's
Yeah,
not an
you-
issue.
You can come back with some comments.
Okay,
We
all right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just out of curious, do we know what the square footage is of the existing building?
It's estimated it's like 1,700 square feet.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joe Salino, 661 Heritage Road, Millington. I'm a little concerned, I don't quite understand yet what this two houses are going to look like compared to what our houses will look like, everybody else's home. And especially if that was changed a little bit larger, that's not a big deal. But when we start talking about putting a fence up or something else up so that it segregates from the house from the street or the steps, then that kind of makes everything look kind of cheap again. And for me, looking at that, after 40 plus years of looking at nice trees,
Sir.
a yard and so forth,
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want, sir,
um,
you're gonna have every opportunity, if you want to come back up and make your case about what you think about the application, you're more than welcome to. This is not the time for that. Please ask the architect questions and limit it to questions to the architect, not just your observations
well,
of the application.
it is an architect, but it's also for what we feel is the
Sir,
idea. Is that what you're saying? All of that
No,
goes to the
you'll have
architect?
every opportunity to say how you feel about it in a little bit. Right now, we have a process here. We have
So
to,
you could ask questions for clarification.
yes.
If you're confused about something, please feel free to ask questions of the architect to get more clarity on what they've testified to.
And one other thing, sir, the applicant provided renderings of the houses, how they're gonna look. I don't know if you got a chance to look at those, but those are.
Yeah,
Okay, so you had an opportunity to look at those?
yeah. I'll take a look at.
So that's
But
what they're gonna
what,
look like.
then the question would be, what I'm hearing so far today is that there's a possibility that we're going to put a fence up. We don't know how big the fence is right now.
There's no there's no fence.
No,
There's no
there was
fence.
there's a
Right.
possibility, let me answer that for you. There was a slight mention of possibly a short retaining wall.
Right.
That has been, we've decided we're not going to do that, but nothing about a fence.
Well,
No
that's
fence
what
is
I meant
proposed.
by a retaining
That
wall.
would have, if it had happened, but we've ruled it out, but if it were to happen, it would have been a retaining wall of maybe a foot high, just to change the elevation.
Okay, so from where we're sitting across to the house, there's nothing, there's no fence or whatever you want to
You're
call
not
it,
going to
retaining
see
wall or
any
nothing.
vertical facade except for the house itself, that's correct.
All right, I'm not sure if I should ask that now or later. The trees that are there right now, that, a lot of them for the size of this house is going to have to be taken down.
Is that correct, Ms. Palermo? You're taking trees
Uh,
down?
we-
Mr. Hollis already testified to tree removal, that's outside of Ms. Palermo's.
Okay, thank you.
It's outside your perimeter?
She's the architect, she's not the engineer, that's not her purview.
So I won't know that until it's built. Is
I
that what
believe
you're
Mr.
saying?
Mr. Hollows addressed that extensively at the last meeting, and you asked questions at the last meeting.
Well, I did
could
ask
you-
questions
could
at the
you-
last meeting. I'm asking it
Could I
again
ask the-
because I'm
Could I ask
hearing.
the applicant to please just, if we could just cover that real briefly on to refresh everybody's memory on the
Okay.
tree removal?
Mr. Hollows, can you give us a quick refresher on tree removal, please?
Thank you.
I believe my testimony was that we would be removing trees, obviously. We've got a pretty good-sized house. We're trying to stay out of steep slopes. We pushed the house as far forward as we could to maintain that existing 50-foot setback line. My testimony was that we would add some trees, especially along Heritage Road, because there aren't very many in that area. Street trees along there. And then we would also put foundation plantings. And typically on a corner lot, you just don't put foundation plantings on the front of the house, you also put them on the side that faces the other street. So those are the things that we would do. Does that help you?
With that in mind, the hill that you're talking about. That's
Could you get a little bit closer to the mic?
Go closer to the mic, please. Thank
The
you.
hill that you're talking about here to Heritage Road where it's connect, you're saying that it's not, the hill's gonna be approximately the same thing, the same hill.
Yeah, it's going to be graded a little bit differently, but just still have the hill there.
There will be, and it's not gonna be smashed down halfway or?
No.
We don't know yet. It's gonna still be there at the same height, approximately.
Yeah, we're, the house will be a little bit higher.
Right,
Okay, the ground line will be a little bit higher
yeah, at the house,
at the house.
yeah.
But then the slope down to the street,
Will
we're
be,
talking about
will be approximately the same, so,
approximately the same, yes.
Okay.
And then, as I had stated, we put some shade trees along Heritage Road. So-
okay, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't go away. Fred Hunt.
Yeah, do you have questions for the architect?
I have a question for Mr. Hollows on trees, since he's up with it. Would that be okay?
No objection, since it's on
Okay,
trees.
Thank you. I know, it's been a little bit of time since our last testimony, so.
I watched it on TV this morning, since I
Okay.
wasn't here the last time.
Thank you, please.
Yes, sir. Your name and address too, please.
Okay, 646 Heritage Road, Lot 11.
Fred Hunt.
And what was your name again, sir? I'm sorry.
Fred Hunt. I'm
Thank
the
you.
next door neighbor. Okay,
Okay, thank you, sir.
okay, that's me, yeah. That's me right there. Okay? When I watched the TV this morning, watched you, and you talked about trees, I guess one question I have, is there going to be a landscaping plan that shows the trees and everything you're gonna put in?
Typically, an application like this, you would show the street trees, not necessarily the foundation plantings.
Okay. I think you mentioned, or somebody mentioned, that you might be throwing some trees in here too, in this area?
Well, I think I had testified
As
that.
a buffer?
That the-
No, seriously,
No, I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
That is an open area on this property. It's a lawn area till you get kind of up the hill. I don't see why we couldn't put a few trees or evergreens even
Yeah.
along that back property line.
Bill, could you just make sure it's clear, are you pointing on the Heritage side?
It's on,
Yeah, I just
actually-
want to make sure it's clear on the recording what you're
Yes.
pointing to. I'm
Well-
sorry.
I'm pointing to the easterly property line of the corner lot, kind of opposite the existing house on the adjoining lot.
Gotcha.
So there are a couple of trees there now, but there is an open space opposite his driveway.
Got it. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Thank you.
Charles Arenowitz, 605 Heritage Road, Millington. My first question is, are you the person to answer questions on negative criteria?
No.
Will we have someone going to testify about the negative criteria?
You're not going to have somebody testifying to it, no. There will be
Well,
closed.
when can I question someone on it?
I don't believe they have a planner who's going to be providing that testimony, Mr. Renowitz, so I don't believe there's anybody. I don't want to speak for the applicant, Mr. Zelli, tell me if I'm wrong.
No, that's correct. Mr. Aronowitz, you'll certainly have every opportunity to
I understand,
make your
but
comments at the end, and I'll respond to them in my summation.
these are not comments. These are questions about what you submitted about negative criteria in your application. So if I have questions, they can't be asked in comments. I want to ask them when I can question the witnesses.
Well, if there's no witness who's provided planning testimony, there's nobody to ask questions about that testimony. That doesn't exist, Mr. Aronowitz.
So there's no expert coming forth that can talk to me about negative criteria. That's what you're telling me.
That's
The
correct.
applicant answered that question.
I think that's the applicant's answered that question.
Okay. Let me ask this question of the architect. Have you driven, well, first of all, are you aware that there's 2 sections to this development?
No.
Well, this board, its prior board, approved that in 1978. Have you at least driven the 2 sections of the Colonial Woods, meaning Indian Run, Heritage Road, and Deer Run?
I've gone down Indian Run and, what's the corner street? Heritage.
You have not driven Deer Run?
No.
So, do you know from your research and trying to match this house to the other houses, how many homes were approved for this development? Both sections?
So I'm just going to object that it's presuming testimony that wasn't there. Ms. Palermo has not testified that she designed these homes to match the homes in the neighborhood. She has described massing. She has described what has been done to, in her opinion, her professional opinion, to keep the homes from being out of place in the neighborhood. But she has not described each and every home that's already in it, and she has not testified that she did any kind of a study of those homes.
I believe there were testimony tonight that they are trying to match the homes in the neighborhood, but you haven't traveled the neighborhood. So how do you match them if you haven't looked at them?
And that's my point, is that was not the testimony.
What was the testimony about the changes being made to the structure to match the homes in the neighborhood?
Because if you recall the original homes that were designed, they were, I believe, 5,600 square foot homes with very large entryways, very, very different presentations than we have now. And the point was the plans, in response partially to some of the informal feedback we received from some of your neighbors, we toned down the houses significantly and we reduced the sizes of them significantly.
Let me go back to the architect. Since you traveled Indian Run and Heritage Road, how would you describe the structure of the homes you saw?
I would describe them as mostly 2-story colonials with 1-story attached garages.
Are your proposed 2 homes 2-story colonials, center hall colonials?
They are,
They are.
yes.
Let me ask you this. These 2 houses on block 10202, lot 12, how far away are these 2 homes from the Passaic River?
Objection, way out of her scope.
Can I ask that question again, or are you guys going to?
As board attorney, I would advise that objection should be sustained. It's outside of her scope of what
Okay.
she's testified to, Mr. Reynolds.
Flooding is not part of it, I guess.
No, it's not.
I'll just remind you to, Mr. Awareness, we've tried to set a 5-minute.
Oh.
So we're approaching that, and there is another person behind you that would like to ask a question. If we have time, we can have you back up to ask another.
My time expired, is that what you're telling me?
We're getting close. Are we close to wrapping up?
No, we're nowhere near it.
Okay, well, try to summarize.
Well, so you want me to come back? I'll come back.
Okay. Thank you. Please.
Evening.
Good evening.
I'm Tom Hackett, 690 Heritage Road.
690, sir, I'm sorry. 690?
690.
Thank you.
Yes. A question for the architect. In designing these houses, did you, is it your testimony that they are within the scale of the neighborhood?
Without really understanding the actual heights of the buildings in the neighborhood, I'm not sure that I can answer that. It was the intent to make them as close as possible.
Are you aware that the neighboring house to the house on Indian Run is actually a ranch house and probably a third of the square footage of the houses that you're proposing here? And that most of the houses on Indian Run are probably about half the square footage?
It's possible. But with a ranch, it's going to be half the size because it's only one story.
But it's not your testimony that you have no idea about the scale of the neighborhood.
No.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Did you understand that question?
That's not your testimony, or no, you have no idea of the scale of the neighborhood?
No, I have an idea of the scale of the neighborhood.
And you think these houses fit within the scale of the neighborhood, even though they are significantly greater?
I do.
That's your testimony.
Thank you.
Okay.
What else? Questions? We gotta take her.
Thank you.
Evening. Joe Torella, 693 Heritage Road. So I have two questions for the architect and just a meta question. If I had questions for the town engineer, is this the right time or is that more a commentary section? Sort of,
Well, the town engineer, we have a board engineer.
or board engineer, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
It depends what your question is.
Yeah,
We don't
is it gonna
typically.
be
So why don't I'll start with the questions for the architect and then you guys can steer me on the other two. I swear that's not me. I don't know. I'm not sure where that's coming from. And I'm sorry, I wrote down my questions here and then they vanished on me. Thank you so much. Okay. So the first one was, and I don't know if we covered it and I missed it, but so how far are these homes from the roads, both Indian Run and Heritage? I don't know if I could tell from the diagrams.
So I believe we maintained the setback of the adjacent buildings along Indian Run, so they're about approximately 50 feet, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so it's in line with the other homes
Correct.
along each of the streets?
Correct.
Okay, including on Heritage Run?
That I'm not so sure about. Yes, they are.
Okay. And then are there, sorry, I'm trying to avoid making a comment instead of a question. Are there any, it's like being on Jeopardy. I know I'm going to lose points if I...
Please ask that as a question.
It's so much harder than Jeopardy.
It's harder than it looks, yeah. Are there any renderings of how these homes might look in context of the neighborhood to put to rest the obvious concerns of the neighbors?
We do not have those renderings.
Okay. And then in terms of questions for this group / the board engineer, so I think the most important was regarding the changes to, I think it was the A8 lot, which includes the facade as well as the height of the building to be within, so it doesn't require a variance. What are the next steps from here to ensure that those changes are adhered to? Because just as a process question, we're not clear. Like, do you guys approve it and we move on and we trust they're doing it, or is there some follow-up to confirm?
You okay with answering that? I can take it if you're not.
So the process for this, if it comes that the board should vote on this application and vote favorably on this application, the board will then memorialize this meeting and the vote as a resolution. And in that resolution, there will be compliance items. And one of those compliance items will be at completion of construction, the house may be no greater than 35 feet
Okay.
height. If during inspection, because there will be inspections from the town of this house, that is non-compliance, then that's going to be a significant problem that the applicant and their contractor is going to have to rectify.
Got it. So that makes sense to me for something simple like, I can get up on a ladder and measure if something's 35 feet. I'm not going to, but I could do it. But what about the facade? Do you guys have to look at plans one last time and say, yep, we agree that makes sense before you get approval? Or?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so part of their submission to the building department will be samples as well as a final rendering of what the project is supposed to look like. And that is, in theory, going to be inspected against what is seen here in the board. And if there is discrepancy, they may even have to come back to the board because of that discrepancy if it gets constructed.
Got it. So, but does that go in front of, does that become a town hall item again? Or no? Like, who actually gets to say whether the facade is pretty enough this time around?
So,
Sorry.
so for example, we've seen here around the foundation what seems to be a stone veneer.
Mm-hmm.
If at some point at the end of construction they say, or when they submit building materials, we never see a stone veneer, and they decide to do something that is antithesis to that stone veneer, that might be forgive me, I do not know the exact turn of phrase, but that might be a violation of the approved site plan. And depending on the severity of that violation, they may need to come back before this board for a revised or it's an amended site plan application.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going to interject here. I've already voiced I don't like that front entrance on building number 2.
And you got 2 big thumbs up from most of the
So
folks
my
back there.
expectation is that's going to be memorialized in the resolution, that that needs to be addressed and needs to be changed and needs to be more conforming to the house on the corner. I like that front entrance much better than the phone booth. So, but that's my 2 cents.
We do too. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Did you say you want to look at it?
Yeah, our board planner was gonna take a look at that to ensure that, and Liz is a very qualified planner, she knows her stuff.
Great.
One of the best in the business, so.
So, no, I think maybe in this particular instance where there is so much public concern, that there may potentially, as we've done with some previous applications, have perhaps a subcommittee of the board, who I would be happy to work with, and, as a review of the facade.
And the
I'd be
applicant
happy
has
to
no
take that
objection
on.
to that.
Thank you, Mr. Zeller.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And then the last one, I understand we're only supposed to ask questions about the testimony today. So anything to do with rainwater runoff, which we covered last time, out of scope, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's all I had. Thank you very much.
You can comment on it later.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll come back and leave a.
Questions, we kind of went beyond that. Did you watch the testimony that was?
I was here
provided
last
by
time.
Mr. Hollows? Oh, you
Yes,
were.
I was
Great.
here last time.
Okay.
He looks familiar.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the respect for the process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi. Allison Friedland, 671 Heritage Road. Hi. Just as a concerned mom, wondering if you feel these houses would be built, one after the other or at the same time? With all those vehicles and things in the street? Because there's 2 rather than what we thought would be 1.
Most likely they'll be done at the same time.
Same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
This, I would point out also I know the township has certain things that people need to follow when they're constructing. There's safety measures that are in place.
There'll be
that-
fencing.
Right.
There'll be certainly safety measures to keep.
Yeah, just letting you know. You don't have to, just giving you the heads up. So, yeah.
Like, do the trucks come in on certain streets and park in certain areas?
I couldn't tell you. All I know is that there's safety measures in place. I'm the attorney. I'm not the building guy. So, sorry.
Any other questions? Please, we're still open for questions. If you'd like to return, you certainly can come back up, Mr. Warnowitz. Okay. Okay.
It's the last chance, Chuck. All right. All right.
All right, so we are presenting no further witnesses.
Okay.
I'll reserve my summation for later so I can incorporate anything that might come up in commentary.
Right. Okay. Throw it up to the public for
Yeah.
comments. Okay.
Okay, so now we can move directly into comments. I will be keeping comments to no more than 3 minutes. So please come up if you have comments. with regards to this application, here's your time to come up and voice those comments.
Yep. And I will have to swear you in, so it's given the weight of testimony, and we'll need your name and address again, too. All right, miss.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Carol Salino, 661 Heritage Road. Our house is directly across the street from where these houses are being built. I haven't spoken in front of people in like 30 years, so.
We're gonna swear you in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please raise your right hand for me. Got to do it official. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please proceed.
Okay. So please bear with me. It's brief.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
My husband is Joe. Joe and I have lived in our home on Heritage Road for over 40 years. We were one of the original buyers, and we specifically bought our lot because it looked out on the beautiful, quaint farmhouse owned by the Friedmans. Every morning, we open our blinds and enjoy the view. When the snow falls in the winter, it's like we're looking at a Currier and Ives postcard. So now that's going to be knocked down, and 2 very large houses are going to be built. They are much larger than our existing homes and are of a very different style. We were told that the space between the homes is almost the same as the spacing between our homes. But shouldn't larger homes have larger spaces? We are told that they are going to preserve as many trees as possible. They may even plant a few more trees. Have you ever watched bulldozers clear a site? Do you think they are going to zig and zag between the trees so it will look nicer for all of us? And my last question is, why was the placement of the corner house changed? Every other corner house faces Heritage Road. And in driving through town, that's how most corner houses face, onto the main street. What was the reason? So what does the side of the house look like? Because that's what I'm going to be looking at every day. I know these days everyone wants to make the most money they can. Thus, the bigger houses that don't fit in with the rest of the neighborhood, I'm asking that you consider the size and placements, the spacing, and the trees. This is our neighborhood. It means everything to us. How many of you have taken a ride down here to see what we're talking about? Maybe you should take a look. It would mean an awful lot to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Comments?
Yeah.
Now's your chance.
Please.
That's it.
Brian Daglian, 679 Heritage Road.
All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please proceed.
So I don't have the tenure in the neighborhood like the Salinos or the Murphys or the Arenowitzes or of the like. We're in the neighborhood about 7 years. We came to the neighborhood with our 2 small children to build a life like everybody else in Long Hill Township does. The neighborhood has a character. The neighborhood has a feeling. You know it when you walk around the street. You see everybody outside playing. There's kids playing in the street. It's just, it's that classic neighborhood feel. Our houses are sized for a single family. These houses are sized for what appears to be double what our houses are. 4,200 square feet, 4 bathrooms, 4 full bathrooms. Doesn't sound like the kind of house that houses just, you know, the families that we have in the neighborhood right now. To Carol's point, I understand profit is king, but this is also Long Hill Township. You guys all live here. This is not something where we're forced to do it because of low-income housing. We're forced to do it because of planning. This is squeezing 2 houses into the last little bit of open space we have in the neighborhood squeezing two houses in the spot that one house sits now, and squeezing two houses that combined are 4 times the size of the house that's on the lot now. So respectfully, what we would ask is, as Carol indicated, and pretty much every voice behind me will indicate, look at the character of the neighborhood before you make this decision. Look at what's there now, look at what we're trying to continue on, and ask the question, why do we need to approve this? There's no definite reason this house needs to exist. It's not filling a purpose other than profit or whatever the case is, but what's the reason we would be approving? That would be the ask from us to the town, to the board, is to really ask that question really hard before you say yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Anybody else want to make comments?
Charles Aronowitz, 605 Heritage Road.
Mr. Owens, let me swear you in. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Please proceed.
Let me, last time I was here, I entered a photograph into the testimony. I'd like to do that again tonight. This is a photo of where all the water is going to come from these two homes into the trough that was built supposedly as a retention basin. But this photo can show you how much water is there, and it goes back to the Passaic River. That's why I asked earlier, how far is this home from the Passaic River? But it got objected to because it wasn't necessary. So these photos were taken by me on this photo on January 13th, 2024 of the trough that's about 200 feet down from these two homes.
All right, Mr. Owens, counsel, do you have any objection to Mr. Owens entering this as evidence, or would you like to review it
I haven't
first?
seen it yet, most likely not.
But don't give us anything and let him.
Let the applicant just determine if they're object or not.
I'll reserve, but most likely there will not be an objection.
Okay, thank you very much.
Only reserving because I haven't heard what the testimony is yet.
Okay, you're good. You're good for now. You're good.
Please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
might be an objection later, but you're good. So we'll mark this as Exhibit 02, at least for identification at this point.
I'm sorry, what was 01?
Oh, 01, he entered the previous
The
meeting.
last time.
What's the date? What's the date of the pictures?
It's on the back of that, the one I don't recall. It's
January 13th.
January 13th, 2024. This is where the water from these two homes will go into that trough and increase the flooding. Okay? You as a planning board have some difficult decisions to make, as well as the zoning board, mitigating flooding and doing a better job with stormwater management in this flood-prone township. One of the tasks in front of you is to mitigate flooding as part of your 2023 master plan. With this application, there's no landscape plan, okay? There has been no percolation testing of this property in a highly flooded area. So we don't know if these dry wells are going to work or not in force of rain. Just so you know, last June in our area, we had 4.75 inches in 3 hours. In this case, these dry wells would have failed. We had it in June. This is when Somerset flooded in Watchung. So if you approve this applicant subdivision in heavy rains beyond 4 inches, the 11 homes, which they haven't driven down, didn't know how many homes are in the development, there's 11 houses on Heritage Road that face the river. These 11 homes get flooded in their backyards because they face the river, and will have more flooding in their backyards. You've seen the photos tonight, and at the last meeting confirmed the additional stormwater with a proposed second home on 53 Indian Run, with more impervious coverage that will do to these 11 homes on Heritage Road. I can't talk about negative criteria, but in my opinion, this has not been met. I won't get into the details on that. But my neighbors and I have installed a second sump pump in our homes.
Some of these sump pumps have alarms on them, so our house doesn't flood. To help alleviate flooding in our basements, please, no more stormwater in our backyards. A third sump pump will not do it in our homes. But you can do it as a planning board member for the public good. Vote no to this application for a subdivision for 2 proposed homes with more impervious coverage, and now heights are supposedly going to be consistent with the other 38 homes in the development. Plus, is this consistent structural design to the 37 two-story center hall colonials in 2 phases of our development that Colonial Woods at Millington marketed this to us 44 years ago? For the public good,
1 minute, please.
one new home on this lot is fine for all the residents of Colonial Woods at Millington. The original planned trough on Heritage Road, where the stormwater from these 2 proposed homes will flow, will contribute water to the retention basin, as our engineer described it. But through the years, this retention basin has turned into the Passaic River. So you can walk on water from these 11 homes back to the rivers flowing. You're in the river. We didn't want riverfront property when we bought these homes. These 2 homes are going to contribute more to riverfront property. We don't want it. We also assume that this property at 53 Indian Run will be one new home that will be properly maintained. This hasn't happened since this property was purchased on July 27th, 2024. During this time, this property has been an eyesore to our development.
Sir, if you would, please.
Yeah.
I'm going to object to this. This has nothing to do with the application. There's not even any indication that my clients owned the property at that time. But even if they did, it's beyond the purview of this proceeding.
I would agree with that, and I believe that objection should be.
They purchased the property on July 27th, 2024.
It's irrelevant to the application. Yes.
Well, the property is an eyesore, and I'm just making a comment that we don't want any more eyesores in our development. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Runowitz, would you come back for a moment, please? You're subject to cross-examination, as you know.
That is true.
Go ahead.
What is your profession, please, sir?
I'm a professional consultant.
For what type of matter? What field?
What field? I work for one of the professional services firm in this country.
Okay. Are you an engineer?
No.
Are you a licensed engineer?
No, I'm not.
Are you a landscape architect?
No, I'm not.
All right. So do you have any training, formal training, that gives you the ability to testify to the drainage comments that you've just made?
Yeah, because my sump pumps are running. I put one sump
understand
in, yes, and I put a second one in. Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're telling us, correct me if I'm wrong, that you believe that a property that has no stormwater management now, with the construction of 2 homes with plenty of stormwater management, that's going to accommodate all of the square footage that Mr. Hollows testified to and bring the amount of impervious runoff to less than it is now, is somehow going to cause the river to rise higher than it does now. Is that your testimony?
No, what I'm saying is the water runoff that's going to come off these driveways and come off the roofs, when we had rain over 4 inches, I said over 4 inches, it's going to come into the trough. That's correct.
But you understand that that's only if it goes after it goes into the 2 systems, and only if it's such a storm that the 2 systems are overcome, only at that point will any water go into that system at all. You understand that, correct?
I don't understand. I understand that they testified at 4 inches, it'll handle it. Beyond 4 inches, it will not handle it.
And right now, nothing's handling it, correct? All of the water is coming out into that system. Isn't that
I
right?
wouldn't say all of it, because some of it's going into the ground, into the 2 homes there with the 2 sump pumps running, as are mine.
Right. And Mr. Hollows, who is a professional engineer, explained that the amount of impervious surface that's being covered is going to bring the net amount down to lower than it is now. So now you have more runoff from impervious surfaces than you're going to have if these homes are built. Did you understand that?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
You're free to go. Okay, who's next? Tough act to follow.
Hi again, Joe Torella, 693 Heritage Road.
1 second.
Oh,
Just write
sorry.
your name down. No,
Go
you're
ahead.
good, you're good. I got it. Take detailed notes. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. All right, thank you. So Chuck is not an engineer, I'm not an engineer. I don't know if we have an engineer in the lot. If we do, apologies to those of you, who we traded notes about our professions and I missed it. But when this conversation came up in the last session, I won't pretend I understood all of it, but I remember at some point, and he's not here unfortunately to comment on it, but the board engineer at the time made the comment, yeah, okay, there could be issues with water. I acknowledge there could be issues at certain rainfalls or whatever. I don't want to put words in his mouth. This is what I recall. But hey, look, guys, if we were building today, we wouldn't have built Colonial Woods. The whole town or the whole segment just it wouldn't meet modern standards given the rainwater and the proximity to the river. This is what I recall. And he said, yeah, we wouldn't even build this part of the town today the way it's put together. This is my recollection. And I found that odd. I didn't know what to say in response to it, and I thought about it in the weeks after. If that's really what he said, if there's any legitimacy to that at all, and there's any risk that this could exacerbate the problem with flooding at a certain rainfall or under certain conditions, why would we take a development that you wouldn't even build today and then risk making it worse? Really hard for me to square. And I'll pause it there. That's what I recall. Seems like a big concern to me. That's it for me.
Thank you. No problems.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Comments? You got a taker?
Good evening again.
All right, hold on, miss. I gotta swear.
Allison Friedland again, 671
Heritage Road.
Heritage Road.
You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. And I talk to kids all day, so if my voice is rumbling, that's why you all make me nervous.
We don't bite. You're good. We don't bite.
I know. I hope. This is on behalf of a few of my neighbors and I, so I'm going to be using we. Good evening. My name is Allison Friedland. I live at 671 Heritage Road. We're here to focus on the environmental impact and how this proposal conflicts with the vision of the Long Hill Master Plan. I want to highlight how the Long Hill Master Plan prioritizes the protection of natural resources. We want to encourage greater tree preservation and planting efforts, reduce flood damage, reduce sedimentation and stormwater runoff, promote groundwater recharge, using the best management practices for stormwater management and flood control. The township's planning documents and ordinances make it clear that the protection of natural resources is an important community priority, emphasizes the value of preserving the trees, the soil quality, and the wooded character of our neighborhoods. Given that this proposal calls for the removal of 46 mature trees, the impact will be severe. These trees support groundwater recharge, reduce stormwater runoff, stabilize soil, and contribute to our neighborhood's amazing character. I can't stress it enough. And like we've all said, unless you've driven in our neighborhood around 3:30, 4 o'clock on an afternoon, you won't understand that character that I'm speaking of. I'm going to skip a little bit. We strongly urge you to require a detailed tree preservation and replacement plan as a condition of any approval. This should include which existing trees will remain, where the replacement trees will be planted, and what species will be used to ensure we're not just losing tree cover, but genuinely restoring the ecological function and community character. Second, just to talk about the scale and the character, the proposed homes, as we all know, are around 4,200 square foot each and significantly larger than our homes, which we have covered many times. We're not against improvement or growth, but we strongly feel that the new development should respect the environment that is there already. We are a very special, unique neighborhood where children play in the streets. We look out for each other. We want the best for everyone. Friendships have been built, and a feeling exists that cannot be replicated easily or described. We understand that this existing house will be knocked down, but to build 2 enormous houses and conduct this kind of construction will change the entire aura of our neighborhood. Forgive us for lacking the confidence in this project, but this building has been left alone for nearly 2 years. And months go by without grass being cut, the flags on the balcony, the broken windows. So we're just feeling a little nervous, as I'm sure is coming across in these meetings. We would love to see a plan that respects our town's master plan, the environment, and the families that already live here and love it here. So thank you so much for all your time.
Anybody else, members of the public, comments on the application? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. We're out of here. Okay,
Thank you.
that's it. Close to the public, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, let's please close
Just making sure.
public commentary.
Okay.
And now we'll turn it over.
Would you like me to make a summary first? Do you want Mr. Zelli to
Do you have
make
any
a summation?
closing statements?
Yeah,
you'd like to make?
I'll go through the planning points.
Perfect, perfect, thank you.
This is a planning argument, Mr. Zelli, not testimony?
Of
just to be
course.
sure.
First, I just want to go over again what variances we're talking about here. So one of which we can take off, which is the building height. So, again, we are looking for 2 variances for lot area. Again, substantially, both of these lots are substantially larger than virtually any of the lots in the neighborhood. We are looking for lot width for the interior lot of 143 where 150 is required. Again, substantially more in compliance than the current lots. Most of them, as I recall offhand, are at 100, if not lower. And we did that instead of going for the 150 and being completely compliant. We did that in order to have better setbacks and in order to be able to move the corner house in a more appropriate location and not have the high height, extreme height that we were talking about originally. Front yard setback. For both lots, and actually 3 because we have the corner lot. Again, we are at 52 on 2 of them, and then 59.5 where 75 is required. And again, 50 is the prevailing setback for the neighborhood. So this all goes back to the same argument I made at the beginning, that since we had a cluster subdivision in the beginning, virtually all of your bulk requirements were significantly lower at the time. And those are the bulks that you're seeing now throughout the neighborhood. And the prevailing situation on these 2 lots is that we are well in excess of the bulks as compared to the rest of the neighborhood. Neighbors are rightly bringing up the fact that we're looking at the rest of the neighborhood. Well, we are in this situation. And if we were really trying to squeeze, which is one of the terms that I heard, we could probably have come up with a design that we could have had 3 houses on this lot, possibly even 4, because just going by the bulks. But we're not looking to do that.
Mr. Zelli, can I pause you real
Yeah,
quick? I'm
sure.
sorry. You said 59.5 for 12.01? I think it was noted as 57.6. I just want to make sure we have the accurate number. That's what was in Ms. Lehany's memo. Yeah.
Mr. Hollis, would you just double check that, please? That's on
12.01.
1201 at Heritage, the Heritage front yard setback.
Yeah.
It's possible I didn't update a number. It's
There you go. Just want to
entirely
make sure we got
possible.
the accurate number. I know it's, might be splitting hairs a little bit, but.
That's what I have as well. You're seeing 56 point something?
57.6 was on Liz's memo. No? All right. Just want to be sure, because if you guys, you know, don't want you building a house and it's 2 feet off, and then you got to come back here. All right, so 59.5, that's your test, that's the representation of what you guys are seeking?
You comfortable with that, Bill? Okay.
Okay. all right.
59.5.
Just want to be sure. Thank you.
Again, so we are not looking to squeeze anything. We are using space that could have been allocated to squeeze, literally to squeeze 3 or 4 homes, and instead we're building 2. They are larger. There's no question that they're larger. But they are well in compliance with your zoning. They're well in compliance with the R2. The size of the homes, the floor area, none of that is being diminished because of the cluster situation. The variances that we're seeking are, but again, only measured against the current zoning. What we don't have the ability to do, just because of the way clusters are designed, a cluster subdivision comes in all at once, obviously, all the numbers are changed, and the open space is dedicated to the town. We don't have the ability to come in here and say, well, you should apply the cluster requirements and numbers to us. Although logically that might make a lot more sense, that's not how it works. But we need you to please realize, and I know I'm repeating it myself, but it's critical in this particular application, that while we are not in compliance with the zone, we are well in excess of compliance with virtually all of the rest of the lots. And well in excess, not just by a little bit. So we understand the neighbors' feelings. We did look at the original plans, quite honestly, internally, and I think I said this in the first meeting even. We looked at those plans and realized that they were way out of character with the neighborhood. And if you compare the original plans and elevations to what you're seeing now, they're much more subtle, much modified to better accommodate the neighbors' concerns. We don't have institutional-looking buildings, huge buildings like we had before with, as I said, well in excess of 5,000 square feet. So we did take this into account. The ordinance does not require us in any way, shape, or form to come in and build 2,400 square foot homes because that's what the rest of the neighborhood has. There's nothing in your master plan saying that that should be done. There's nothing in your ordinance saying that that should be done. Again, we are well in compliance with the size of the homes. So now we're back, and the reason I don't have a planner is because we're back to the real basics when it comes to bulk variances. And I'll try to go through those a little quickly because it gets boring, I realize that. So, arguably, given the cluster situation, we probably could make a good argument for a C1 hardship variance because we're dealing with trying to comply with zoning that doesn't apply to the rest of the neighborhood. But we're going to set that aside. Under your C2, we need to show that the benefits to the town as a whole outweigh any detriments. So let's look at some of the purposes of the municipal land use law that applies here. Purpose A, to encourage municipal action to guide the appropriate use or development of all lands in the state in a manner which will promote the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare by replacing existing outdated, deteriorated dwelling and accessory units, structures, sorry, I'm getting used to saying units, with 2 new modern homes that would complement the existing neighborhood. Purpose E, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, and regions, and preservation of the environment, in this case by replacing an extremely oversized lot, per the zoning requirement and certainly relative to the surrounding lots, with 2 more consistently sized lots, thereby providing houses for 2 families rather than only 1. Purpose G, to provide sufficient space in appropriate locations for a variety of agricultural, residential, recreational, commercial, and industrial uses in open space, both public and private, according to their respective environmental requirements in order to meet the needs of all New Jersey citizens, in this case, by constructing 2 new homes in a manner that is fully consistent with the neighborhood scheme created in 1977. I would argue more consistent because we have this huge lot now as compared to the smaller lots that surround it. And then purpose I, to promote a desirable visual environment through creative development techniques and good civic design and arrangement, in this case by enhancing the neighborhood with 2 attractive new homes that will complement other homes in the surrounding neighborhood. Finally, in addition to the addition of the 2 modern residences to the neighborhood, replacing the existing outdated residence and outbuildings, will assist in conserving your property values in the neighborhood as a whole, which remains a purpose of land use regulation, even though the goal is not expressly stated in the MLUL, and that's under Home Builders versus Township of Berlin. So those are your positive criteria. As far as negative, Mr. Iwanowitz wants me to talk about negative, so we're going to talk about negative. Negative criterion have to satisfy that the variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without substantial impairment of the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. As noted above, the proposed lots are fully consistent, in fact, more than consistent with the existing neighborhood scheme. They thus clearly have no detrimental effect based upon that. We also need to discuss at this point the drainage issue. I think I've made the point, I think Mr. Hollows made the point multiple times at your first meeting. Right now, every bit of water that doesn't get absorbed into the grass, every bit of water that comes onto a perfect surface otherwise is getting down to the system, the very system that Mr. Iwanowitz has pointed out. With these homes constructed, you're going to have stormwater management on both lots that will only get the water to those systems in extreme weather conditions as opposed to in every single weather condition. Mr. Hollows testified that the net amount of impervious coverage that's uncontrolled is less than what is there now. In other words, less impervious coverage is being controlled by the proposed storm management system than what is being there now based upon the existing impervious, given the fact that there's no stormwater management whatsoever. I would also point out that in the rest of the neighborhood, as you know, having been built in the 70s, there's no stormwater management on these properties. So our lots are going to be drastically better and less of a contributor to any drainage issues than all of the existing lots. What we're hearing about is the sump pumps in the basement, and I have absolutely no doubt that that's true. The reason that's true is because these types of stormwater plans were not in place then. We're required to do it, and that's why. And overall, this is going to have less of an impact on the drainage situation than what is there now. So we've satisfied both the positive and negative criteria under your C2 analysis. We thank you for your time. We do thank the public for coming out. We do appreciate your comments, but we do ask for a positive vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm going to try to summarize the relief, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to summarize the relief and the conditions that were stipulated to and that otherwise would be applicable here. So the first is minor subdivision approval. I'll do my best.
Yep.
All right, the first is minor subdivision approval, obviously, for the entirety of the project. Bulk variances for proposed lot 12.01, I believe that's the lot on the corner. Proposing a lot area of 40,761 square feet, where 45,000 is the minimum required. Next is for the westerly front yard setback, that's the setback of the house to Indian Run, proposing 52 feet, where 75 feet is required. Next is the southerly front yard setback, that's the setback of the dwelling to Heritage Road, 59.5 feet proposed, where 75 feet is required.
Right.
Next is for the setback of improvements to critical areas. They're proposing a setback of 8.6 feet to those critical areas where they're required to have a 50-foot setback in the front yards and 25 feet from critical areas in side and rear yards. And that's it for proposed lot 12.01. Proposed lot 12.02, the interior lot, as it's been referred to. They're proposing a lot area of 35,631 square feet, where 45,000 is the minimum required. Next is for lot width, 143 feet proposed, or 150 feet is the minimum required. Next is the front yard setback of the dwelling to Indian Run, 52 feet proposed, or 75 feet is the required minimum front yard setback. And that is it for bulk variances. I believe there's no design waivers. And as far as conditions go, I believe the applicant stipulated to complying with everything in Board Planner Henny's memo dated October 10th, 2025, everything in Board Engineer Joe Vucci's memo dated October 14th, 2025. And then there were a number of conditions stipulated to you during the course of the hearings, and I will try to run through those real quick. Excuse me. Okay. First is that the applicant would provide landscaping subject to the review and approval of the township engineer in accordance with applicable township ordinance requirements. That would include street trees, foundation plantings, and screening along the eastern property line, and they'll also revise the plans accordingly to depict that landscaping. Next would be that the applicant would provide landscape screening of any air conditioning units or other mechanical equipment on both proposed lots. The applicant, next condition, applicant will install a walkout area between the garages and basement on both proposed lots and revise the plans accordingly to depict same. Applicant will remove the tree at the southwest corner of the property to improve the site triangle. I know we touched on that. Okay, applicant would redesign the front entry area of the proposed lot 12.02 dwelling such that it wouldn't present as much mass and would not be substantially similar in appearance to the front entry of the dwelling on proposed lot 12.01, subject to the review and approval of the board planner as well as a subcommittee to be established by board members. And I think that is it, but if I'm leaving something out, somebody please feel free to let me know.
I had a couple of notes.
I think that's
Sure.
1202, isn't it? Interior lot.
For the redesign?
I'm not getting my, yes, the interior lot that's being redesigned.
I might have put the wrong number down. Hang on. Where'd it go?
Was that in relationship to the second floor?
Yes,
height
I thought-
reduction?
Redesigned front entryway.
And,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought-
that as well.
Yeah, I thought it was 12.02. That's the interior lot, right?
The interior.
You said
lot.
01, that's why.
So it won't be substantially similar to the one on 12.02.
Similar to 1201.
We wanted-
Right.
Then I misheard you, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If I
That's,
messed it up.
that is correct, yes.
Right, it's the
Okay.
interior lot, that's the one that needs to get changed.
So 1202 will be redesigned to better conform to 1201. Got it.
Understood. Yeah,
Okay.
but not so much that it creates the need for a variance by
Correct.
being similar. Okay.
Mr.
Yes, Mr. Hans, yeah, you had a couple?
Apologize, did you say the height? Did you talk about the height of the room?
Well, they're not seeking the
variance.
height variance, so that,
No, but we did agree to
Self-evident.
reduce the,
I want a condition.
we
I like
did
it.
agree to bring it
Yeah.
to.
You can make that
yes.
condition, thank you.
no,
By not
objection.
seeking, right, by not seeking a variance, we're effectively,
Yeah, they're-
that's true. That is
But-
true.
But if he wants
You
it
know,
noted,
people-
I don't see any
that's-
objection here.
I
So
had a-
let's reduce the height of the second floor
To 9 foot.
on the 12.02 dwelling, right?
Yeah.
Or no,
Right.
was that 12.01?
Just interior.
That's two.
Right? You didn't say exactly, is it the second?
No, I'm
That's where
sorry,
they're
that is
gonna-
one. That
That's
is
where
one.
they're gonna get the height,
If we said 9.2, 9 foot, if we said 9 foot, so
they just
whichever
have to be
height,
compliant if they're not coming forward for
so
that.
not
Right.
35.
Right, so reduce the height of the second floor of the 12.02 dwelling to 9 feet from 10 feet.
To a height that accommodates 35 feet.
You want to word it like that?
I think that's best.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more
So
time.
Both properties should have a second floor height reduction of, I guess it'd be down to 9 feet, so a reduction of 1 foot to comply with the 35-foot requirement of the zoning.
Well, no, we only agreed to do that to the
Well, it's just-
corner lot, to 1201.
But there was some discrepancy on the plan showing both being over 35 feet in the
So-
architectural drawing, so.
I'm going to backpedal. I think it's better just to not mention it at all because we're not seeking a variance, so we have to comply.
However you do it to 35
However we
feet.
do it is, you know,
To 35
construction department's going to make sure we do it.
Yep.
Right,
Okay, so we'll scratch that one.
but no retention.
That's why I didn't list it. Okay, do you have another one, Mr. Hand?
Yeah, I had the, when we talked about landscaping last time with Joe, he said he was going to do a walk of BRIs on the ground for the landscaping plan, because there wasn't one, I believe.
Yeah, no, I mentioned that at the beginning. That was,
Did you?
yeah, the landscaping would be subject to the review and approval of the township engineer and be provided in accordance with applicable township ordinance requirements. That would include street trees, foundation plantings,
I just want to make sure.
and screening along the eastern property lines, and the applicant would revise the plans accordingly. Does that cover it? Okay.
That's good.
has to be quiet, please.
I'm speaking into the mic. Sorry, I'm soft-spoken.
I have a question also.
Shoot.
This is regarding the memorandum from the board engineer dated October 14th. On page 3, under his technical review comments, and it's point 4.6, and it reads, the applicant shall submit soil log or logs and/or percolation test results certified by a licensed engineer in the state of New Jersey to demonstrate adequate soil permeability and document the depth to seasonal high groundwater table in a minimum 2 foot below the bottom of each infiltration trench system. Should unfavorable conditions be encountered, an alternative stormwater management design will be required. Attached to this memorandum is the form from the township, information regarding soil erosion and sediment control certification. The property is listed, and there are 2 options. One is it does not involve work, and the other says it does require a soil erosion and sediment control plan certification. It's not indicated which is needed. So,
Did you want to?
So we've agreed to comply with all of Mr. Vuch's letter, including that provision. The original design will be the design shown on the plans. If the perk tests show that for some reason that design will not work, we'll have to come up with a different design, and Mr. Vuch, with his township engineer's hat on, would have to approve that. So one way or the other, we need to comply with that. If we can't somehow, then we'd have to seek different approval.
So just as a point of clarity, if the stormwater design doesn't work, would you not have to come back before this board with regards to now the alternative?
If we could come up with an alternative design that Mr. Vuch, again with his other hat on, approves and finds that it will handle the same amount of water, then, as far as I know, we would not have any reason to have to come back to the board. If for some
Only if
reason
they
we
were-
couldn't, that'd be a different story.
Only if there was, and I don't foresee this really ever happening, but if there was some kind of site improvement that needed to be constructed to do that potentially, or some form of variance that they would need in relation to that, then they'd have to come back. But I think that's what you would constitute, I guess, a field change, right? That's the term of art. And, yeah.
Can't hear you.
It's going to the comment about a field change being
Yeah.
necessary for this plan. It would depend on the severity of the redesign. I won't say anything specific, but there are certain, I guess I would call them stormwater best management practices that could trigger that redesign or the amended site plan like we've talked about prior to this. However, that's subject, again, to the township engineer's review, and if he feels that that's the case, he would notify the board.
So can I just summarize then that the, as noted in this 4.6, that the licensed engineer will be Mr. Vuch, and that he will submit the soil log?
No, the applicant has the responsibility of submitting that. They have to have an engineer certify to it, and then Mr. Vuch reviews it.
So that's still to be done?
Yes.
That's part of compliance, yes.
That's part of
That's
compliance
correct.
by the applicant.
It's a fairly standard compliance thing that gets imposed on a lot of
And
applicants.
that gets recorded with the state?
No, it's just part of the township engineer's review process. I'm sure you can.
So our engineer, whether it's Mr. Hollows or a different engineer for some reason, would certify to it. Mr. Vuch would review it to make sure that he concurs. Assuming that he does, then that will be satisfied.
I think that's a great question, Ms. Ogen, just to kind of give us the framework for what is the process, who are the players, how does it get reviewed, who sees it, who signs off on it, and what needs to get done. So, well done.
Well, I think that it a little bit more about our stormwater management.
exactly right.
More will be done.
That's correct.
Anyone else have questions about, or any other additional conditions I'm leaving out?
Well, I have some questions
Oh, okay.
further.
All right,
I
all right,
want
yeah.
to get your conditions as you have them written,
Yeah,
understood.
That's all I got, yeah, that's what I got so far, so if anyone
But,
else. something
yeah,
else.
let's just make sure, so no one else has any more input to the conditions?
I just have
Conditions, no.
just 2 points of clarity. One, on the landscape and design, you did have on the lower corner property an extra tree or screenage on the eastern lot line.
Yeah, I noted that additional landscaping would be provided along the eastern property lines. That would include, suppose both properties, actually.
That's right, yeah, I just want to make sure that we've got that, because there was a gap in the lower lot to the property.
I'm just gonna say it, I would feel a lot more comfortable if it was more than just Mr. Vooch dealing with the landscape plan. Since a landscape plan wasn't provided, I really would think that potentially having a subcommittee or a small group, if you would stipulate to that, work on
That's,
maybe a
that's
more
acceptable,
appropriate
absolutely.
screening and landscaping plan.
Yep,
for this
I'd be happy to join that committee, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
And also, I would look at the architecture
I was
of
just
the
gonna say,
inner
is it
lot.
the same, are we gonna call it
Yeah,
the
I
same?
think it's the same group. I think it's looking
That's
at the
For architecture and
architectural.
landscape.
That's fine. Thank you.
Noted.
Can I just, actually, I do have another note, if I might.
Go for it.
I've got Joe priority to discharge into the sewer. Does that ring bells with anybody?
I'm sorry?
Discharge into the sewer.
That's the overflow.
The overflow does.
As a priority, I've got a note here as a priority to try and, are we gonna go connect, we're connected to the sewer?
Well, the overflow typically does, that's.
Right, but I thought there's some question mark. about that.
Sorry, it goes into the stormwater, not the sewer.
Right.
Right, storm
Thank
sewer, not sanitary sewer,
Yeah,
of course,
storm
right.
sewer, Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I just want to make sure there's a priority to discharge there. Because it was talking about some pumps discharging to the back elsewhere. I think that was the only other.
Yes, yeah, please.
Just back on the landscaping suggestion, whoever on our side does that, also refer that to the Shade Tree Commission.
The
'Cause
Shade
they'll
Tree
have-
Commission already saw the plans.
Oh, good, okay, great, perfect.
And they had no comments because there's
No recommendations?
no recommendations because, there's no, it's private property, so,
No old trees.
correct.
No old
Well,
growth.
they don't have, on private
Well, I'm
property.
talking
they're
about
on-
yeah, that's fine with the old trees. I'm talking about planting the new trees. They'll have recommendations on species, that's all.
Yes, and I think we should get.
I can
those.
consult them.
Yeah,
I would consult them.
perfect.
Any objection from the applicant on sending the landscape plan?
To a subcommittee? No, no.
Not the subcommittee, but also the Shade Tree Commission to take a look
I
at?
think they've already seen it. I think we would just. be
Well, they haven't seen
consulting.
a landscape plan. They saw what was initially proposed and didn't, because they don't really have, there's no
Yeah,
town
to not
trees
overthink
back.
this is just to get,
Right.
Yes.
If
to
the
get
board-
input from them on species, that's all.
Perhaps say the subcommittee with the advice and
Yes.
If the board wants to
consultation and
see-
advice of the Shade Tree
In
Committee as they see fit.
consultation with the Shade Tree
Yes.
Commission. There you go.
That's a different matter, yes.
The last thing, do we know if HPAC's been notified since this is a historic site?
HPAC has been notified, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other, are you done, Mr. Hance, with any of your
Only then I've
comments
got
and conditions?
questions still, but only when we want to get to that.
Oh, while I'm doing my spiel, just one other thing I wanted out. It's Mr. Apalka, right? You weren't present for the previous hearing?
I wasn't.
But you did review the tape and
Yeah,
you gave
I
me a
was, yeah.
certification,
Yep.
so he's qualified to vote, in my opinion, Mr. Zelli, unless you have any objection, but
If he's swore that he's done that,
he
absolutely.
did. He's
No
good.
problem at
I
all.
trust him.
For sure.
And I think everyone else is qualified to vote, right? I know what, just, speak now for every other piece, everyone was here for the prior hearing? Okay, just double checking, okay. All right, that's all I have.
Are you good with, as we go through just a round robin, as far as reflections from the board asking your questions, or do you want to get some of your
I think
questions
I'd like to
out
do some
now?
specific, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just see what the opportunities are for change, right? So the 4 inches was the dry wells, I think. Can accommodate 4 inches of water, right?
Okay.
Right?
4 inches of rain.
Rainwater.
If you're gonna ask
To go-
engineering questions, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
even gonna try.
Are we able to go to 6 inches? We said at the time it's just a build out as an additional cost to go to support 6 inches. Is that something we could even consider?
I hate to give this answer, but I have to. That's a question that really should have been asked of Mr. Hollows during the hearing. It's really procedurally, I don't even think it's appropriate at this time. And I certainly don't have the ability to answer it in any event.
I mean, theoretically, we could call Mr. Hollows, but
Yeah,
it's up to the
I
applicant to
honestly
vote.
don't have an objection to Mr. Hollows answering that question. I don't know that I have our clients here tonight to answer that question, though, if you're gonna look for a stipulation on it.
I'm curious to see what opportunities we now have. So that's we have to go back and ask that question.
I think so. That's the only way it could be done.
Let me think about that.
I actually thought that question was asked.
We
It
did
sounds
talk
familiar.
about it. We did talk about going to 6, and it was a build-out. And it's just a cost issue to go to a larger size. That was all it was. So I'm just asking that as a possible thought.
Yeah, I think he's asking for a concession on that if it's possible.
Let me,
The applicant would be willing
if
to
you'd like,
concede.
I can consult with whomever I have.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, because I think it may alleviate some of the questions that and the issues that we have.
Are
So
there
it's
any
a-
other similar questions, or?
Oh, well, the architect's here. So, and this may be just a general question, what latitude do we have on things like height, other than, if it stipulates 35 feet, is there anything else that we can think about that more conforms with the neighborhood?
You could ask the applicant to reduce the size of the height, but by ordinance, they are permitted
No,
to
I-
go up to 35 feet. That's the
Correct.
thing. Yeah.
So we already discussed going down from 10 to 9 foot to reduce the overall height. Is there any
Right.
other opportunities to reduce that height further? Do we think?
Could you get to 34?
Can we-
Certainly. So I'm just discussing any other opportunities we have to meet some of the concerns that have been raised.
Well, the homes are somewhat higher. I mean, there's a 2-story to 2-story. We understand that the current homes probably have 8-foot ceilings, and
Right.
we have 9 and 10. We understand that. Typically, when you look for concessions, they're concessions that are taking into account the nature of the variances. And in this case, and as you certainly have heard me say a million times already, but for the unique situation that we're dealing with having to comply with regular zoning as opposed to the cluster, none of our variances are putting us in that kind of precarious situation. For instance, setbacks is the most common when you start to get into height. Right? If you have a diminished setback, you don't want as high a building because it's going to be more imposing on the neighbor. Right? We're already fully compliant and certainly compared to the rest of the neighborhood in that situation.
Well, actually, on that point, I may debate that point.
That's not, yeah.
Because we are going to 50 feet to be in conform, so we're allowing for that.
But that's the front setback, and that's to make it conform with the rest of the neighborhood.
Yeah, okay, conform with
We,
the
we
rest.
started compliant. We started
So-
with the full 75 foot, but
Okay,
overall that wasn't desired.
understood.
Right.
So now you're in a catch-22, right?
Well, no, because it's not the front setback that you're typically dealing with there. It's your impact on your neighbor. It's usually your side or rear setbacks.
50-foot setback
I think there's something.
is going to be a lot more, obviously higher, nearer the property, the street, than 75-foot, right? Would you not agree?
I agree that that's true, factually,
Agree
right.
that's true, right,
Right.
right. Visually, it's going to look higher, closer. So we could say 75 feet, go back, but then you have the issue about conforming with the neighborhood. So I'm trying to find, is there a sweet,
That's not the only thing you get. You get into the critical slope too on the second
no,
half.
I'm just trying to make a point for a second, Bob, thank you.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to see what points we can perhaps get to, where we can get to accommodate some of the concerns about the height, right? So we're allowing for the front step. You've been nice enough to come forward, right, to go to 50 foot, to conform, right? But it's going to make the mass of the house appear larger. Fair point?
I follow what you're saying.
Right, thank you. So, with that, is there any opportunity to reduce the height to keep it in conformity, using your words, with the neighborhood?
It's something that I certainly can't commit to easily, and it's something that I would actually request a straw poll from the rest of the board to see if this is a commonly held concern, because it would it would involve significant, it's one thing to just drop the roof down on the second floor,
Right.
but when you start redesigning the heights of the first floor, it's major changes.
Yeah. And the only reason for pushing, because I want to make sure everybody can hear and have the opportunity to hear what your comments are back. That's it.
Understood.
So I'm not saying yay or nay. I just want to make a point that
I
something
understand.
could be done just to.
I understand. It's, clearly in this application, we're walking a line between a neighborhood that was all built at the same time and has all the same kinds of houses, and our desire to build houses that are modern and conforming to, as Ms. Palermo said, you know, what people moving in are looking for. And the height is one of those things in terms of the interior heights, the design, you know, not having the standard. And I grew up in a colonial just like that. I love them. I live in one now pretty much just like those. But, you know, we're designing homes that are modern, but we did come off of the grandiose homes that we originally came in with, even though those were also compliant in that regard.
Okay, yes.
And so I want to go back to this idea. I want to go back to this thing of handling 6 inches versus 4 inches, because, and I thought I remembered this from the conversation last time, and Bob kind of corroborated with me. Going from 4 inches to 6 inches, it's not going to make a difference. The throttling factor was the size of the gutters, as I recall this being explained by the engineer. Right, so to force them to put in the ability to handle 6 inches is diminished returns.
Will you agree to that?
I do.
Okay. Again, I just want to make sure we discuss these points, right?
Understood.
There's opportunity to do things, whether you can or able to, a different story, right? So there's opportunity to do stuff.
Understood.
Do you mind if just one last point?
One last point, yes, please.
Size. Right? I've heard people say it's a third, 3 times the size, or right, 4 times the size. I think I heard somebody say. I think I heard somebody say that. Realistically, how much bigger is this house, these houses, than the existing house? I think I heard 1,700 square feet for existing.
No. What most of the neighbors have indicated, and in my experience, and Ms. Palermo did you have any reason to challenge that their typical house size in the neighborhood now is probably about 2,500 square feet? Up to 35, depending on the biggest house? Okay. So we're going from somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500 to 42.
Right. I think
So it's not doubling or anything like that.
I think I heard the existing house was 1,700.
The existing is, that's correct.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Right, what's on the site now.
Existing is 1,700, right? Take your point about the other houses on the property, in the neighbourhood. This is 4,200 square feet, right?
What they're proposing.
Right, based upon roof, if I remember, based upon roof size.
That's living area.
Living
It's living area, it's floor area.
Floor area?
Floor area.
Doesn't include the attic.
Between the 2 stories.
Between the 2 stories.
Yeah, it's not a 4,200 square foot footprint, it's.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get across.
Oh, yeah, it's 21 and 21, right, right.
Everybody, because I hear it's a 3 times the size, 4 times the size. We've got a 2-car garage, which is the same as probably everybody else's 2-car garage, 22 by 22.
Right.
So I'm going to put that to one side for 2 seconds, no different to anybody else. The actual house itself doesn't look that extensively larger than the other houses. Yeah, it may be a third bigger or something. Probably I'll go about a third bigger. Would that be a fair
Yes.
first statement?
Right.
About a third bigger than existing houses?
I would agree, that's approximately right.
Third bigger. I just want to make sure.
All right, are we good?
That's
So we can move on? Thank you.
Thank you.
So what I'd like to do is just poll the board, and if you'd like to make some comments against this application to help in our decision to move forward with a potential vote. Bob, you want to kick off with your comments?
I'm not going to make any comments.
You have none? Scott, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I really like the idea of changing the look of the interior lot. To me, it looked like,
The front entranceway? Right.
Yeah, right.
it looked like a fast food place. Where you might get Mexican food.
Chick-fil-A?
No. It's got a bell on it.
Just got a Taco Bell already.
I'm playing.
That's the wrong board.
Did you have any final?
I'll come back afterwards if I can.
Okay, Pam, we'll skip over you.
I thank the public for their comments, and living in probably one of the smallest houses in Long Hill Township, approximately 1,000 square feet, I am also surrounded by homes that are double the size of mine. I can't say it really detracted that much from the overall neighborhood, and as houses like mine get demolished, that's the reality. The smaller houses get demolished, the bigger houses go in, and this applicant is keeping within what the ordinance says. Times change.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Tony, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, so I'm actually a little conflicted on this one. I think the the runoff mitigation plan is actually better for the neighborhood because there's nothing there right now. I mean, it's kind of, it looks daunting when you put two houses on where one house is, but they're actually actively trying to help out the rest of the neighborhood. Where I'm struggling with is this lot, when the neighborhood was built, was designed for a reason, and it's before my time. So looking at it, they could have built two houses here when they originally had the cluster development done. Why wasn't it done is one of those questions that none of us were on the planning board at the time to know.
Normally, I wouldn't stop it just to try to answer that. This is the original Homestead house.
Yeah, this house that's on the site
you're right. Okay.
preceded the development.
Right.
Right, but
By far, yeah.
By far.
right,
About
but-
100 years.
But any developer tries to buy every house
Yep.
in the lot, right? To maximize, and even at the time. So, but one of the things that we're talking about for the approval is the letter E, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, and regions. That's the one that I have trouble with, because the house on the lot, making two houses, I'm not sure how it significantly outweighs any detriment based on the neighborhood feel that we're talking about here. So I think from a rule-based, looking at it from the law, it actually will help the neighborhood, but I think that's one of those factors that I'm kind of going back and forth on, so.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the public's input on all of this. I too, again, I'm going to say I'm not a fan of the entryway to that second house and look forward to working on any subcommittee if this should pass. I have ridden through the neighborhood multiple times, whether it was in my car or I was riding my bike, so I know the neighborhood very well. I know that there's green spaces on both sides of Heritage Road, not too far from Mr. Arenowitz. I have seen this corner lot. I was concerned about the corner just by the fact that there's no sight line, so I'm glad that that sight line is now going to be addressed should this application pass. I agree with my colleague here and a lot of his struggles. I am also a little concerned about the 4,200 square foot that these homes are going to be taking on respectively. But I also know that the neighborhood does have different design homes as you ride through it. So I think this is just part of growth, and I think that's just going to be more of in the future. I do appreciate the fact that there is some work that needs to be done with regards to taking a look at that flood, the water, how it runs on the property, under the property, through the property, and how it impacts the neighbors around them. But I can tell you, the Passaic River is not being impacted by those lots. It's being impacted by development that's happening in neighboring towns along the river, and we can see that happening. And I don't know if these two homes are going to add to the larger homes that are already, or the larger projects that are already taking place up and down the Passaic. So that's kind of my feedback and comment. I do wish that the architect brought the right paper pictures, and we didn't have that little snafu in the beginning, but it is what it is, and we have the right information in front of us. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is A8 back?
I haven't seen it.
Somebody take it from the public.
I think we did pass it out, and I just wanted,
It
because
did
we
go
only
out
have
that,
one.
I don't know if it ever came back.
Does anyone have that photograph we passed out at the beginning, the rendering of the new house?
Yeah, it was in the last row.
I think she's got it. Could you send that back up, please? We gotta.
Thank you.
hold on to that. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks for not stealing from us. Appreciate it.
Without saying anything that hasn't already been said, I would just, first of all, want to thank the public for their input. This is not an easy application as we try to integrate, as Ms. Ogens mentioned the modern with the old. I'm also in a neighborhood with being in a smaller home compared to other homes that are in the neighborhood. And I think with the right approach that I feel like the applicant has brought forth, being in earnest, making adjustments within the zonal constraints, and being accommodating, I think makes us more favorable than the earlier application had presented in this regard. So that's kind of where my head's at. But with that said, I think we're really at a point.
Let me just have my comments.
Yeah.
So, and I agree, thanks to the public and everybody, and I thank the applicant as well for what they have done. I think personally it's an improvement with the stormwater overall. I don't think you've done anything negative. You've done everything. Not many variances that you're asking for. Not many unrealistic variances either, personally. I think that's all fine. We talked about what things you could do to improve that even further. You got the height down. We could have done the 6 inches maybe with the gutter. So then it just comes down to just the semantics of, you're meeting all the conformities and everything. Then it comes down to, does it really fit the neighbourhood? I don't think the actual floor area does cause an issue to me. I just still have that concern about the height. I think that does make it more monstrous than the other properties, but you are conforming. So then it becomes a simple, do I like it or do I don't like it, right? So that's a bit more of a conflicted thought that I have to go through. But overall, I do think you have done a decent job with everything that you proposed, so I don't have any major issues with concepts, and it's just the height, to be honest. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, is that everybody? Think so? Okay. Mr. Zelli, you okay with proceeding to a vote?
Yes.
Okay. So we ask me a motion to either approve the application with the conditions as set forth, or a motion to deny the application. Whoever wants to make either motion, please go ahead.
Yep, I make a motion to submit this application for approval with the outlined conditions as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Call the roll.
Vice Chairman Jones?
Yes.
Committeeman Lavender?
Yes.
Mr. Hands?
Yes.
Mr. Lavario?
I'm going to abstain.
Ms. Ogins?
Yes.
Mr. Alpalka?
No.
Chairman Richardson?
No.
1,
That's it.
2, 3, 4. Motion carries.
Motion carries. That's 4 out of 7. So,
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
See you next month or whenever I have the next planning board again.
Yep.
We have no other
No,
business.
so,
Kind of let people roll out. I think that's the end.
Well,
we have,
motion to adjourn.
I mean,
yeah. Is there a motion to adjourn?
well, these people too. So,
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.